But I really wanted to come in here and talk to you guys about the emotional shitstorm that is actually a normal and natural part of your coaching business journey, and your personal growth journey. So I want to kind of talk to you about these three different types. I call them the gatekeepers of growth. Woo! That came to me last night. It was like the gatekeepers to growth, or the gatekeepers of growth. And these are three different types of struggle, challenge, shitstorm internally, emotional turmoil that we experience, that we have to navigate our way through on this journey to continuous growth and unfoldment and involvement and all of that. They are parts of the journey. They are inevitable because of what we're actually doing. So I'll explain that in just a second. But I really want to talk to you about them. So if you're there or you've been there, you can recognize them. And when you go through it again, you can recognize it and think, I know this. I know how to navigate my way through. This is normal. This is natural. Because when we don't know what's happening, then we fight it, we resist it, we think there's something wrong with us, and all of this stuff means it becomes a lot harder. So I've navigated my way through multiple layers of emotional shitstorm, as I like to call them, of struggle, and now I see my clients, they come to me from that place, and you know, the resistance and the struggle they put up kind of prolongs the agony. So I'm going to talk to you in this live stream about the three key ones that I see time and time again, that if you can recognize them and understand what they mean, then, and also I'm going to share how you can navigate your way through them with way more ease, so there's less of this anxiety and struggle. So the first struggle that I see a lot of is, I call it the plateau. Now, the symptoms of the plateau is where you've generally, people who are hitting the plateau, they've come through a period of real growth and learning. So they've been consuming all this stuff. It's been really intense, heightened enthusiasm and excitement. They've loved it. So if you recognize this, you've had a great journey of upward trajectory learning. It's been amazing. You don't want it to end. You're having so much fun, all of this learning, all of this insight, amazing. And then suddenly you hit a plateau, a wall, where you suddenly lose momentum. And you think, I don't know why I've lost momentum. You feel super frustrated. You feel extremely scattered. There's masses of overwhelm, and you just can't, you want to keep going as you were, but you just can't seem to take any more in. That's the plateau. So what's happening in this period of time is that you've actually consumed so much that your mind, your body, your soul needs to integrate that information. So although you're trying to pour more in, the reason you're scattered and overwhelmed and you've completely kind of lost momentum is because you cannot take any more in. It's like you're a full glass of water, and you're trying to pour more water in. And that's just overflowing. And that's why the frustration is that I can't take any more in, and yet you're still trying. So that's what the plateau is. It just means that you need to actually stop consuming and allow whatever it is that you've learned, all of that expansion and growth, to integrate, to become a part of who you are. So you become that next level person, so that it becomes your new normal. So how to navigate the plateau is down the books, down the courses, just stop consuming for now and start creating. So this is about getting into baby step implementation. Start creating, stop consuming, because as you navigate the plateau is the point at which you start to practice and implement and gather a level of mastery over what you've learned, so that it becomes that new you. So it's a plateau. So you just take your baby steps, action taking, create, put stuff out there, whatever it is you've been learning, go ahead and implement it. And then you'll reach a point where that everything you've learned, it just becomes who you are. It's now known to you, and you can then start on the next up level trajectory. So that's the plateau. Okay, the second place of struggle, this one is a bad one, guys. This is so painful, and if you don't know what's happening, it's really scary. So this second point of struggle is called the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul. And this generally comes after a period of really intense personal growth work. So perhaps you've been on a healing retreat, or you've been through a course where you've really dug up and unearthed some old stuff, and you've been working on it, meditating on it, doing some deep dive awareness raising on the old stuff and clearing it. And it's been really powerful, and it's been beautiful, and you've emerged from that process feeling really wonderful. And then suddenly and without warning, you feel terrible. You may go into some depression, you feel really sad, you feel lost, you feel really weepy. It's a really tough, painful period of time. And you can't do anything. You may even start recognizing that you're reverting to old coping mechanisms, such as overeating, or drinking too much alcohol, or not taking care of yourself, or maybe re-engaging in old toxic relationships that you don't want, but you can't help yourself. For some reason, you're thinking it's a good idea to re-engage in those things. And so it's a scary period of time. So what is actually happening? What is the dark night of the soul? Well, it's like a no man's land. It's the in-between period between the old identity and your new identity. So that healing work you've been doing, that deep work you've been doing, you're shedding layers of an old identity. But as you're moving out and shedding those layers, you're moving into the new identity. This is the no man's land in between, and it sucks. It really sucks. But it's actually quite a beautiful thing when you recognize it for what it is. So you're releasing an old identity, you've not yet emerged into the new identity, and so that's the dark night of the soul. And so the way to navigate this is sleep. There's not a lot you can do apart from now you can recognize it when it happens. It's sleeping, ton of self-love, a ton of compassion. Know that you're going to emerge and something incredible is out the other side. So just in that period, don't make any big decisions. Do not make any decisions about life decisions. I mean, I nearly went back to a really toxic relationship one time when I was in the dark night of the soul. And it's like this old identity is doing everything to pull you back to who you were, because that's safe. So just sleep through it, be really compassionate, lots of self-love, just take care of yourself, don't make any big decisions. And trust me, guys, when you emerge out of the dark night of the soul, your whole reality will have shifted. And as you emerge, there is so much beauty. You will not believe what comes to you when you step into that new level identity. Hey, Isma, Claire, this is resonating. Hun, I feel you. I know, and you're not alone. And like I said at the beginning of this live stream, these are perfectly normal and natural parts of the journey. So we've talked about the plateau, we've talked about the dark night of the soul. The third one is what I call the up level ledge. So the up level ledge is probably the most common and long lasting. Sorry, guys, it's this is where you've been in business for a while, or you've been in whatever, you've done some major work, you've done some incredible transformation, you've been in your business for a while, and the up level ledge is the symptoms of that is where you're creating results, but they're mediocre results, or to you they feel mediocre. You feel like you're swimming in the same shallow water. There's no progress. You might have highlights where you've put your head above the parapet, but then you've gone back to that kind of new normal. And so you're really in a comfort zone. You may have lost some trust in the coaching industry and the courses because you've invested lots and they've only got you like a blip in your results, but it's never anything that's sustainable. So you think, who can I trust? Who do I invest in? You know, you want to invest, but you've lost that trust. So there's a sense of stagnation, and that's you know, some of the symptoms of this up level ledge, as I call it. So what's actually happening here? Well, in my experience and the clients that I work with, what is actually happening on the up level ledge is you've been in your business for a while, you've taken some massive action, you've had some incredible results, but along the way, you've hit on some really painful moments. You know, you've up leveled and then you've been pulled back down. You've up leveled, you've been pulled back down, and always that old you is much stronger. And you've never managed to kind of sustain any kind of upward growth for any length of time. So you've associated pain, great pain, to taking next level action. And so you're caught in this safety zone, this comfort zone, which is actually now really uncomfortable because you want bigger, you want more, and yet you have a lot of fear around it. You're stagnating and you hate it because you're an action taker, you're a high achiever. You don't want to settle for mediocre, and yet this lack of trust, you know, you feel too safe, it's too scary to do anything else. You've tried and it didn't work, or you've tried and it felt too hard work. Everything feels like too much hard work. So I've gone kind of back into the symptoms, but that's what is going on, is that you are caught in a real safety zone, and you're clinging to a ledge that is a false sense of safety. And you've associated so much safety to whatever this ledge is that you are hanging on to. Okay. So how do you navigate this and get over it so you can up level? What do you need to do? Well, you need to leap. You need to leap. You need to let go of that ledge. That ledge is a false safety net. You need to give yourself permission to let go, and you will soar and up to the next level, I promise you. So I don't know what that ledge is for you. It could be anything. You know, I've had clients. So let me give you some examples of what your ledge could be. If you are still employed, but you really want to go full time in your coaching business, and you've been in this kind of duo life for a while now, that ledge could be actually make the leap full time into your coaching business, if that's the one desire. That could be the leap. The leap, if you've been in your business for a while, could be hiring help and outsourcing, actually paying somebody else. Scary, but has to be done. That could be your leap. Your leap, your ledge that you need to let go of could actually be something in your personal life, a relationship. It could be that you need to get out of a toxic relationship that you're only in because it's familiar, but it's not serving you. Your ledge could be actually to sort your money out, to sort your finances out, to go pay an accountant or a financial advisor and sort your money out. You want to, you've been talking about it for months, if not years, go do it. I call it bum rush your fears. Jolt your subconscious out of its slumber by doing that thing you fear the most. That's your ledge. So whatever it is for you, it could be creating an event or creating a partnership, a collaboration. Again, it's always something it's there simmering in the background, but you've never taken action on it. That's the thing you need to do to let go of your ledge. If you don't, you stagnate. It gets more and more frustrating. That thing you're not doing becomes more and more fearful. Trust me, when you actually let go of the ledge, it's never as scary as you thought. And in my experience, the ground always meets you. You know, you let go of the ledge, you think you're leaping into an abyss, but the ground always comes up to meet you. There is always ground underfoot. And actually, when you make that leap, you realize, hey, what was I so scared of all these years? What was the problem? I can do this. I've now freed up so much energy from not lamenting and mentating about the fear of this thing. I've just freed up all of that energy into being able to move forward and take new action. It's not as scary as you imagine, but you've got to make that commitment. Another reason why you've got to do it is you let the universe know how serious you are. And it's all on you. It is all on you. There's nothing else stopping you from letting go of that ledge. It is all on you. So those three things, just to summarize, there's the plateau, which in order to navigate that effectively, you just stop consuming and get into action taking and creating. The second one, the dark night of the soul, that's after you've been through a healing crisis. You know you're in between an old identity and a new identity, how to navigate that, just self-love, compassion, sleep, knowing that what's out the other side is just going to be so beautiful and so light. And then the third one is the up-level ledge, how to navigate that. Bum rush your fears, guys. Jolt your subconscious out of unconsciousness and go do that thing that you've been talking about for years, the one thing you're most afraid of, go do it. That's how you let go of that ledge, and you will up level and your results will reflect that. So yeah, just sending you tons of love, and if you've got questions, comments, always put them below. I'd love to hear from you, and I shall speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.